Okay, hi guys. So today we are going to do a lesson on manipulating sounds orally. This is a first grade phonemic awareness lesson. It's in day 5 of the unit plan and it'll take about 50 minutes. Our learning objectives for this lesson are students will visually receive more information about phonemes and learn to connect sounds to these manipulatives up on the board. Students will take on the role of a sound and move into the Alcona box at the appropriate time. And students will identify the location of the changing phoneme and integrate the new sound and determine the new word based on that new sound. So these objectives are based on 2 Ohio Learning Standards, which are RF 1.2C, demonstrating understanding of spoken words, syllables, and phonemes, and isolating and pronouncing initial, medial vowel, and final phonemes in spoken single-syllable words, and RF 1.2D, which is demonstrating your understanding of spoken words, syllables, and phonemes, and segmenting spoken single-syllable words into their complete sequence of individual phonemes. So in this lesson, it's also based around just a student profile and just their personalities at this age, in this age range. So in first grade, students have been started learning about phonological awareness, and they already know that sounds make up words, words go on to make sentences, and sentences can make up stories and writing. So in pre-K and kindergarten, students have started to gain knowledge about the number of words in a sentence, the number of syllables in words, just started touching, dipping their toe in the water on rhyming, alliteration, onset of in rhyme, a little bit of that. And then students can then apply these skills to phonemes and phonemic awareness. So this built-up knowledge will then help them learn how to manipulate phonemes. So a first grader's social, emotional, physical, cognitive, and like their language development is growing rapidly in this age range. So socially and emotionally, they're very enthusiastic. They thrive on encouragement and praise. Physically, they're active. They have a very short attention span. Cognitively, they're creative, imaginative, artistic. And linguistically, they are starting to gain a lot of interest in reading and just singing. They like to talk and they're very curious and they ask a lot of questions. So for this lesson, for modification wise, so if I had a new student in my class or they're recently enrolled, during some of these activities, I may ask them to come up to the board to help them just be more comfortable in the classroom atmosphere and get them just accommodated more instead of feeling the need to shy away. I may also place them at a table that I think who they would connect well with in the classroom. So later on in our third activity, we'll be playing bingo. So if I think they'll connect well with a certain student, I would put them there and just regularly check in with them, maybe talk to their parents, see how they're doing, if I could provide any other things that don't seem apparent to me in the classroom. For ELLs, so in the word list, I might put in words that are cognates to their native language so that these words are already familiar, so it can help them start off on a good note when we are learning to manipulate phonemes so words aren't fully new to them. And I'll also help them one-on-one if they're struggling with a certain aspect of phonemic awareness or manipulating phonemes. So our first activity, so draw this Alcona box up on the board, and these will be little magnetic circles up on the board. So today, so what if I told you if these circles all represented sounds, and what do you think these boxes have to do with it? So guys would answer, and this will take about 1 minute, just 1 to 3 minutes, just depending on students' thoughts and discussions about it. Students will all be sitting on the carpet, and this will be a whole class group discussion because after this, the first activity will begin all together. So after the discussion, I will introduce a journal, bring out a journal with pictures on it, and it kind of looks like this, and this is the word list of all the pictures I'll have on there. So I have a picture of a sun, a bee, a chick, a cat, a cake, and a book. And so the whole class is still sitting on the carpet, so I'll flip to that picture in the notebook. For the first one, I'm just gonna I'll say the word. So we have, show the picture, it's a sun. So we'll say sun, and then move, the arrows will represent, that I'll be drawing will represent these chips moving into the boxes. So, n. And then I'll do the second one as well, which is B. So I'll flip to the picture of the B in the notebook, B, E. And I might ask the class, why do you think this one didn't get moved into the box? And we would discuss that you wouldn't say B, E, E, just be B, E. And later on in phonics, they will learn that the E sound represents two E's in the word B. We'll go over chick, which is ick. And then I'll flip to the picture of cat, and I might have a student come up to the board, give them the marker, and they'll do k, a. Next is cake. Another student, k, a, k. And now we have book. Another student, b, k. So after we just focus on like kind of reviewing, segmenting the different sounds in the words, I'll ask them these manipulating based questions. So flip back to the picture of the sun, and I'll say, in the word sun, what if I changed to f? So maybe have a student come up to the board and do sun again. So they do n. And then what if I changed the s to f? So I realize that the s sound is in the beginning. So they would change that to f and make it n. I'll say in the word sun again, what if I change the n to b? So the sun, n, b, change the n sound will be replaced by b. So blend all together, b. And then I'll flip to the B picture again. So in the word B, what if I change the E to oo? So we'll do this will go away then, as we discussed earlier, because we only have the two outcome boxes being used. So B, E, and now we change the E to oo. So B, oo, boo. And this will take about 10 minutes, and the whole class is still together. So then I will transition to activity number 2, and I want to excite students by saying, now you guys are going to become these sounds, and you guys are going to represent these little manipulating chips. So this activity will take about 15 minutes, and a vision for this would be having like tape to the carpet in the room to be a physical actual Lacona box. So I will call groups of 4 students up at a time up to the front of the class. I will say, I want 3 students, each student to stand in front of each box, and then the 4th student is going to stand off to the side. And I will say the word, then I'll motion to the whole class to say the word again normally. And then the second time, the class will say the word again, and they'll segment it. And then as they segment it, the student will move into the appropriate box. So I have my word list for this as well, ready to go. This would be the word list I'd be using. And so I would say my first word is pat, and students would say pat. So, and then the students would again articulate it out. So the student 1 would move in, student 2, and student 3, p. The 4th student is going to be standing off to the side. So I'll say, now I want you to change pat to rat. The 4th student will be the sound. The students will recognize, that this is the place they're going to want to switch with because it's the beginning sound. So the at, rat. We'll then call the second group up. Keep that. And it'll be cook. So and then I'll say, what if you change cook to cool? So cool. So they'll recognize the O sound will change out with the K sound to become cool. We'll have sad, so ad. Change that to mad. And the students say mad and then add as they move in, and then sad, so we'll move in and recognize that switches out with this one to become mad. we'll have will. So will, to well. So this one's be tricky. It's like a middle sound now. So still keep the w. So this one changes to e instead of I, and keep the o sound. Tad, ad. And so if you change it to tab, so students may again say tabbed, recognize the b. That sound gets changed out before a student comes in. Makes it ab. Cop, and then students will say cop, they'll move in, and then change it to hop. So the student will realize, oh, the beginning sound needs to change, so it will become So after this activity is completed, I'll discuss the importance of letter sounds and being able to hear these sounds. So kind of ask the students what they think it is, what the importance of letter sounds are, and hearing them individually and just manipulating them. So we'll discuss that hearing sounds, well, again, introduce them into, once we learn actual letters and seeing letters visually, these sounds connect to letters, physical letters. So, however, learning sounds is a critical first step to this. Then I will excite students by saying, now we are going to practice these manipulating and segmenting skills in phoneme bingo. So then have the students all go back to their seats, and we'll call them off, groups of students back to their seats accordingly. So then I'll pass out these bingo cards, and these are just pictures of bingo cards. Teachers can pick what they want based on what pictures or words they're using. So once students are off their seat, this bingo activity will take about 15 minutes. This is to review the manipulating skill they just learned. Each student can have their own bingo card, so it's individual. So I'm going to read off a word, and this Alcona box stuff will still be on the board in case I need to go over it or students struggling with it, or if they even want to practice it. So I'll say our first word is rake. What if I changed the in rake to k? And students should figure out that the new word is going to become cake. So if they have a picture of a cake on their board, then they'll put a chip over that. And then we'll also do examples. Lick, change the o to s, so it's sick, like a child puking or something. He'll put a chip over that, or if the student just doesn't feel like a picture of a thermometer. And then do hop to pot. So what if I change the h sound to a p sound, picture of a pot, and cot to change the ah sound to an ass sound, so it will be a cat, so there's a picture of a cat. We'll put a chip over that picture. This first student with the bingo wins. And then after we finish bingo, we'll kind of go over a little bit about phonemes again, ask them what a phoneme is. They'll say the smallest unit of sound in a word. What's the importance of phonemes? Phonemes have the ability to change a word completely based on their sound, which is what we kind of just went over with manipulating phonemes in this lesson. And then I'll ask them, what does it mean to blend, segment, and manipulate phonemes? Because I want them to know the three different parts of phonemes. So blending, putting the sounds together to make a word, segmenting, breaking words into their individual sounds, and manipulating, switching sounds out and around. So then for the assessment part, I'll give students this sheet, and it won't have the X's on it to begin with. They'll just shoot with 3 different Alcona boxes on it. So I'll say, what if I changed bad to sad? The students are going to realize that the beginning sound gets changed because the b gets changed to a sound. And then I'll give them 2 other examples and do this 3 times. And then I'll collect at the end and just to see where they're at after this whole lesson. And that should take about 5 minutes. And that's my lesson on manipulating sounds orally.